Good morning, everybody. Shift your mindset here. Jehovah Witnesses, when do you let go of your stubbornness? I'm also a stubborn person in some kind of aspects of life, and we all are stubborn sometimes. If we are in a fight with our spouse or husband or wife, we can be stubborn. We can stick to our story and drag that further along. And we're not used to admitting guilt. That's my experience as growing up as a Jehovah Witness. I'm not good in admitting guilt. And that's because it's me or us against the world. That's how I've been raised. The worldly people are bad, the worldly people don't know what they're talking about, they don't have the truth, stuff like that. That was programmed into me as a young boy already, and they're never admitting guilt. Why? So they're stubborn in what they believe. Why? Because when you go into ministry, some man opening the door believes that Jesus is God, believes in the Trinity, believes in Buddha, whatever, it's always wrong. Jehovah Witnesses don't even research it, don't even hear it and process it, because they're already rejecting something. So to be stubborn is sometimes good, because if you go after your passion and people want to try and talk you out of it, it's good to be stubborn, because then you hold on to your dream. But why are Jehovah Witnesses so stubborn? Because they think, and I get it, because it's a nice way of thinking. This is a nice way of thinking, what I'm gonna say next. We all want to live in a world without violence, without getting sick, and in a nice environment. I think we all, and I discussed it with my friend Chris the other day, he is living next to people who are messing around, who are doing whatever they like. Their garden, everything is one big mess. They're not good neighbors, they're not friendly, they're not helpful, they not do anything for you. They only make noise and you only have complaints with them. That's why I moved out to another country, to another place where I have no neighbors, where I'm not involved in that kind of stuff. So I get it. I also want to live in nature. I also want to live without sickness, of course. I also want to live in peace and quiet like everybody else. So I get that. I get that hope that we all have. I get the hope of the Jehovah Witnesses to live in a world freely without getting sick, there's no violence, etc. I get it. But Jehovah Witnesses, seriously now, it's time to go to your feelings, to your gut feeling, to your heart, deep down inside you. We all are thinkers. I know it's programmed. The education of the Jehovah Witnesses they do a terrific job, because it's repeating. And in that environment with the repetition, you get it. I get it. You think there is a hope out there for you that's coming. But we are already in the, I don't know, 4th, 5th generation of Jehovah Witnesses. I only have my parents, the generation before me, as a Jehovah Witness. But every generation is raised by the end is near, it's just around the corner, the last days, any moment now, and that creates JWs to be stubborn people who hold on to grasp that little straw of a nice future. What I said, without violence, sickness, and seeing your loved ones again. And I get it. I also love people. And if I could see them again, I like to. But deep down inside, and I talk about 2024, I only left for a few years. But if you take it further down the road to the 1990s, which I can still remember, education was Bible-based. There was no card witnessing. There were no television broadcastings. It was a religion with a lot of effort in it. And in those times, I can imagine that you're holding on more to the hope they portray for you. Because 1940, 1990, it's still within the generation, and I know you are in a flow of that the end is near. 1975 was a big mistake for the prophecy of the Jehovah Witnesses, and that you can overcome. Some people left, but not too much, because one time you can overcome. But then it's being dragged out, and everything, if we go to 2024, even when I go back to 2019, the education level was higher. If you look now, the watchtower you study, it's so bad for your mind. Because we want to work with our mind. It's like a dog. If I walk with my dog, my previous dog, if I walked with him and I do the same round every day, 3 times a day, I do the same round, he gets bored. And boredom with a dog, especially with a German Shepherd, is that he's gonna break things, that he's gonna be naughty inside because he's bored. So what did I do? I go to a playground, I said sit or down. He waited, and I was hiding pieces of chicken, pieces of meat, treats for him. And then I say, search. And then he was 10 minutes busy with searching, because he was using his mind. And he was looking and looking, and every time he found something new, and then he goes to the next one. But he was challenged in his mind. And after doing that, I went home and he was asleep for the whole night. If I go out walking, just walking besides me 2 hours, and I came home, he came for me to fetch the ball with him. He come with me with his bowl of food because he wants food. He comes to play with me. He wasn't challenged enough just by walking. And that's the same with you guys, Jehovah Witnesses. You are the walking dead. You just walking without being challenged. Because they're just rehearsing the simplest things in the Bible. They're gonna study the simplest things for kids. They're gonna study it with you in the midweek meetings. It's just a repetition of basic, simple doctrines, and you can give simple answers. Yeah, Jesus is King. So the whole thing of seeing my dad in the 1990s studying and looking everywhere to get answers for certain things. In 2024, the Jehovah Witnesses are completely stopped with thinking. If you go and hear the stories around you, there is no one. I heard even people who are hardcore JWs say that the meetings are boring, that they fall asleep. The last convention this year, people were sleeping because it's just a repetition of stupid basic things. They're not challenged anymore. There's no interaction, nothing. People are getting tired. People are getting annoyed with the organization. They are selling kingdom halls like they never did before. They're even selling it to the 7-day baptized or 7-day, I don't know what you call it, but other religious groups. They're selling kingdom halls to other religious groups. They don't care what's going in that kingdom hall after they sold them. They just want to sell things. And it's a repetition all over again. In my life, they were downsizing kingdom halls and putting congregations together. Then there was a new letter of elders say, yeah, but the elders couldn't handle it anymore with so much people in the congregation hall with shepherding calls and stuff like that, and there are not enough elders, so we're gonna separate congregations again. Then they put congregations together again, and that's just a repetition. It's a repetition that every time you get your hopes up for, yeah, Armageddon is now around the corner, just around the corner. Let's make a song of it, just around the corner. And now you have a broadcast, and don't fixate on paradise. So you're already in 4th or 5th generation who's watching now. But deep down inside, ask yourself the question, why am I not honest with my feelings? Why do I not honor my feelings? What's holding me back? And I get it, because like in an argument with your wife or with your husband, you don't want to give in. Because we're programmed that way. I was also that in the beginning. But now I think, hey, Sven, listen, you're not being reasonable now. Why are you holding on to something? Why being stubborn? Just admit that you are wrong. And I know your whole life is crumbling when you admit you're wrong, because you were in the JW religion for 40 years or 50 years and you think you're gonna miss out. I had that feeling also. I talked with my friend Chris on the phone a few days ago, and I had that same feeling. When I was leaving the Jehovah Witnesses, I said, oh, I'm almost 40 years old. The best days of my life I wasted on this, and now the best days are over. What am I gonna do with your life? And that's being stubborn. That's being that you don't allow your feelings to surface. Because if you are living from your feelings instead of your head, there comes a solution for everything. I quickly shifted my mindset. Hey, shift your mindset, people. I shifted my mindset to, instead of being negative, to being positive. I said, hey, you made it out. Be proud of yourself. You are thinking for yourself now. You don't give your power away to an organization. That organization that hasn't had the best interest for me. When are you gonna be honest to yourself and think, why are they controlling every aspect of my life? They are not spiritual teachers. They're mind controllers. Because otherwise you could go to the meeting, just have the hope of Armageddon and the hope of paradise, a world without sickness and a world without violence, and it would all be good. If you come one time a month, if you come one time a year, you'll be happily accepted and everything is peachy. But no, they want to control you. They want to control the brothers, how they rule their family. If someone is pursuing higher education, you get in trouble. If you are not on the ministry, you get trouble. If you are talking to your wife in a certain way, you get in trouble, or to your husband or whatever. They are there micromanaging your whole life, even more than what government in the world. So kingdom halls are being sold, meetings are boring, conventions are boring, ministry is a joke right now, because it's only card witnessing what I see, what I experience, what I hear of people. And if someone is asking a question at the card witnessing or having a camera on or whatever, they leave, they go. So what's with the ministry? What's going on? People are not having it anymore because they're going to the same old, same territory once a month. People are being fed up with them. Oh, they're here again. Yeah, same answer. No. So people are sleeping, people are looking depressed. Even at the card witnessing where I see them here, I see a lot of them in town. They are looking on their phones, they're having conversations, they're drinking coffee. So it's a one big joke. They are making new rules, new light, faster than lightning strikes. Now I see people standing there with their pants on. I feel sorry for them because they look so unhappy. And I just want to take you on a path to freedom. And you guys are watching my path of freedom. How I managed to go from a controlled world to a world I control myself. That's my own world I created here. And you have to make steps to do that, but it comes within a feeling, because that feeling says, I want to create my space. I want this, I want that, I want to have this, I want to have that. My goal is to be financially abundant. My goal is to be financial free. My goal is to have no neighbors and to live in nature and just live in peace and quiet. Not controlled around me by people who tell me what to do. So stop being stubborn. Start listening to your feelings. Because we have an inner compass in us who wants to direct us away from what we want, what we deeply want inside. And that's your guide. And Jehovah Witnesses, I hope that you take a moment to reflect. Where is this going? Am I happy? Do I believe everything they'll be saying to me, that's told to me? If somebody tells you things to do, to meet a requirement, there are conditions. And I don't like to be around people anymore who create a condition for me. Sven, you have to act in this and this and this and this and this way, otherwise I reject you. Fine, I reject you now. Because I don't want people around me who love me conditionally. Because I have to meet this requirement before I allow you to be my friend and to have a conversation and we keep in company. No. Be an authentic person. And that's not only for the JWs, but also for the ex-JWs. Be an authentic person. Let go of your stubbornness. Let go of being stubborn. Admit sometimes that you're wrong. Because you don't know what is right if you weren't wrong sometimes. It's all about contrast in this world. It's light, dark. You don't know what light is without darkness, etc. So be honest with yourself. Examine what am I doing? Where am I doing it for? Just admit sometimes your own stubbornness, your own making faults. It's not Jehovah Witnesses can make faults. No, can make mistakes. No, you can make a mistake. But it's a sign that the governing body is never admitting a mistake. That's your first red flag, of course. When I made a mistake, when I made a bad call of judgment, I'm happy to tell my wife at this moment, I made a mistake. She said, oh, no problem, no worries. Next time, I think I'm gonna not make that mistake again. But that hundreds of years, one thing, the beard and the pants thing, 100 years, it's forbidden, like birthdays. Never ever in the Bible is something like a birthday. Yeah, the bad stories about someone's head chopped off and stuff like that. But that's not a rule. That's a circumstance. But I have birthdays without people chopping their head off. So what are we talking about? But just one thing. What did I say? The beard and the pants. It's never scripturally based. And instead of they say, Jehovah, how do you call it? Jehovah reproved us, or Jehovah, we admitted we make a mistake. Jehovah showed us that it has to be different. So people, sorry we make a mistake. For all the people who left the truth with the beer thing, for all the brothers who couldn't get becoming a ministerial servant or elder, we sincerely apologize. We hope we can get you back on track to being a ministerial servant or an elder. We made a mistake. We're sorry. In the future, we're gonna do it better. Then you have someone who admits that they are wrong. They are not stubborn. But the governing body is the living proof of 9 men who are not perfect. So if you're not perfect, you always make a mistake. And that's not a bad thing. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes every day and I like it because then I can learn from it. But it's now time, Jehovah Witnesses, to learn from your mistakes, to listen to your gut feeling, to listen to the feelings inside, to your depression. Listen to that, because a depression is a sign of your body that you are fed up with things. But your head wants to go on and on and on and think of the solution and is hoping that it's getting better. But getting in a depression, sleeping in your meetings, oh another meeting and stuff like that. You have to drag yourself through life. That's a sign of your body that something is wrong. So listen to your body, stop being stubborn, and start feeling what's deep inside you, what you want. Thank you guys for listening. See you on the next episode.